Welcome to Inside Monster Jam. You know what? That's over 50,000 people going off. We're in Orlando, Florida at the Citrus Bowl. Do you love it or what? This is a show dedicated to monster trucks. But not only monster trucks, we got everything.
Pro modified sand racing, stadium rough truck, you name it, it will be here.
And of course, the Mac Daddy, Gravedigger, and all his buddies here catching big, big air. Let's start it all off with Monster Truck Madness and the Wave.
What's the best thing you like about monster trucks? Catching the air or what?
Yeah, catching it. They're just flying through that sucker. The way they come down, you don't know if they're going to flip or nothing.
It's funny. It's like I said to somebody else. It's like a hockey match. You know, you kind of want to see a fight.
Yeah,
you want to see one flip.
Exactly what you want. You want to see one breaking hats. See these old boys back there with their wrenches trying to fix it. You know, I mean, you get your Fords and your Dodges and Chevys. But you got the Chevy, which is the best. It goes for most of them.
This is down home fun, right?
Yeah, this is the best thing. Come on, bring your kids out here. This is what you have a good time. You know.
Monster trucks.
Who better than Dennis Anderson's Gravedigger to kick off our first set of IMJ highlights? If you dare drive the Digger, you better drive it hard, which is exactly what Robert Parker does with the 1950 Chevy panel truck while qualifying against Devil's Dodge. Digger's hard driving got him to the next round to battle the Outlaw, but he found himself in another race against the clock to repair the broken axle he suffered at the end of his winning run. Upsets always get the fans psyched up, so you know they're really juiced when Little Tiger, driven by Brian Barfold, takes advantage of the gunslinger's mistake to move to the next round against Mopar Magic. Scott Hartsock finally gets the Ford straightened out and sneaks into the grid as the fast loser against Barefoot. Barefoot had no trouble shooting down the gunslinger, then delivered the knockout blow to Thrasher in the semifinal round.
Tensions mounting here at the Citrus Bowl. Gravedigger, broken axle. This guy might have to run solo. He's got about 15 seconds to pull out here. I think he might have got it fixed, but we're not sure. Yeah!
It's that kind of determination that makes Digger legendary on the United States Hot Rod Association circuit. He easily wipes out the Outlaw. But as our instant replay shows, Digger runs over the U-turn cone, in essence digging his own grave with an automatic disqualification. Little Tiger and Outlaw dueled in the semifinal round. It wasn't pretty, but the Little Tiger Chevy earns the right to go to the final round against Barefoot. We'll have the final showdown later in the show. Monster trucks aren't the only race in Orlando, as IMJ takes you to a motor museum that'll get your appetite revved up. IMJ proves that it does rain in Southern California as the monster trucks shine in a wet and muddy Tinseltown. Round one of the Outlaw Quad War Series gets downright nasty in Louisville, and smashing highlights from Demolition Derby inside the Houston Astrodome. We'll also go to Providence, Rhode Island to take a bone-chilling look inside the Globe of Death, where a stunt girl dances with the Grim Reaper as the rest of her family tries not to run her over. And the Gravedigger, Dennis Anderson, tells us what powers that 1950 Chevy when Inside Monster Jam returns.
Inside Monster Jam. Monster Moment.
From deep within the vaults at IMJ headquarters, I'm proud to present you with this week's Monster Moment from 1982. Over 70,000 fans and media from around the free world came out to the Pontiac Silverdome to witness the first running of Bob Chandler's Bigfoot at a USHRA event. With thousands of camera flashes lighting up the Darkened Dome, the four-wheel drive Ford F-250 pickup truck began what was known as a car-crushing exhibition. With technological advances in steering, braking, shocks, and safety, car crushing evolved into the modern-day monster truck race. Thanks to one man and his truck named Bigfoot, over 300 big-wheel monsters now compete throughout the world.
This is definitely the best thing about monster truck racing. It's called the pit party, when all the fans get to come in and meet the drivers, see all the equipment. It's really great for the kids. They get to come in and see the big
big, huge trucks, and this guy's having fun because he gets to sign a lot of autographs. He's really having a good time. Scott, how's it going, buddy?
Hey, just fine. Yourself?
Well, you know, I'm just trying to do a little interview and see how's it going. I think it's kind of cool that all the fans, they get to roll on in, you get to sign some autographs, look around at the trucks, and the looks on the kids' faces.
Yeah, I mean, look at them all. They come up here and just stare at these things. These big tires kind of fascinate them, you know, thinking, man, if we could only have those on Mom and Dad's car.
Yeah, and Dad's looking underneath going, you know, I bet you I could build that out of a wagon.
Yeah, we could take the old station wagon and put these tires on it. We wouldn't have to worry about traffic jams.
He'd probably be shocked with the money it'd take him, huh?
Yeah, he sure would.
What do you think?
It's good.
Who's going to win?
Tell him gunslinger.
Gunslinger.
Yeah? How old are you?
4.
4?
Yeah.
Everything he says, then he laughs. You're the best. Wait, I'm going to carry you for a minute.
Oh, I just like to see the fans at the end of the night. If they have a smile on their face, I know I've done my job.
Thank you. That's it in a nutshell. The kids love monster trucks. What about the adults? Is this cool or what?
Having fun?
Yeah. Yeah.
Hey, do you like demo derbies? That's when they all smash up into each other, right?
Yeah.
See, there's another fan. This kid wants to go to the Houston Astrodome and see demolition derby madness. Everybody was really crashing into each other. That's pretty cool, huh? Uh-huh. Kids always say yeah.
Demolition Derby.
Carnage, mayhem, and destruction ruled the Astrodome as 30 American cars lined up to do battle inside the 80 by 200-foot competition area. With all the metal crunching going on down there, the USHRA officials extended the 20-minute event. Hey, could this be considered cruelty to animals? But you've got to believe me when I say Inside Monster Jam is the hottest new show on television. Check this out. Kirk Amos drove 7 hours from KC in the same car he smashed his competition into oblivion with. Let's hope the $1,000 check will cover his bus fare because his car's not making the round trip.
Monster Trucks.
Whoever said it never rains in Southern California missed Monster Mania inside the LA Coliseum. But at IMJ, we keep our camera lenses clean to bring you the action. If you thought a little of the wet stuff would dampen the spirits of the fans, you'd be wrong because the wetter the better, so let's go racing. Or at least try to go racing because the mud wreaked havoc all night for the monsters. Even Dennis Anderson's Gravedigger was no exception. During qualifying against Busted Loose, he gets water in the electrical system, forcing him to drop out, but not before giving the Digger faithful something to keep them warm. With Digger out, you would think Lonnie Childress and the Bigfoot would cakewalk through the grid, but in round 1, the scaly Chevy known as Reptoid is able to take advantage of an overheated Bigfoot engine and advance to the next round to battle Predator. Tom Mentz and Monster Patrol was slated to face King Crunch, but a broken transmission in the previous round knocked Crunch out, allowing the aptly named survivor to step in. Monster Patrol has some troubles with the muddy U-turn course as Chuck Jordan and Survivor advanced to the final round. In the finals, Reptoid got the free pass around the Coliseum when Survivor blows a cylinder at the start. With over $100,000 in damages to the monster trucks, officials were forced to cancel freestyle. But still, the fans got their money's worth.
Outlaw Quad Wars.
Dating back to the Civil War, bad blood has flowed between North and South. Hopefully this season's Outlaw Quad War series will resolve those differences once and for all.
When you don't fear or respect your opponent is when you're going to lose. So I do have the utmost respect for him, but if he doesn't have it for me, he's going to lose.
All I can say is just, you know, I mean, he better have his game in gear because I have mine in gear and I'm ready for anything he has to, any pull punches, I'm ready. I'll put him back.
Captain Rich Tompkins heads a formidable Team South made up of co-captains Mike Snudden, Hank D. Hart, and Bobby Parr.
We're ready for some hard competition. We expect that from them also. Like last year, they didn't give us an inch, but we wouldn't give them an inch either. So we'll see what happens this year.
Team North is led by Captain Dan Allen, who will be relying on his veteran teammates and co-captains Randy Dinkins and P.J. Hall.
We are really, really pushing to just be the next competitive step ahead of them. And I don't think we need to turn around and look back. We're going to win it all.
With 100 points given to the winners, let the games begin. Louisville, Kentucky played host to round 1 of the Outlaw Quad War Series as Bobby Cox the Clown just avoids being the first casualty of the year. Off the first green flag of the season, Team North captain Dan Allen in black and Team South's Rich Tompkins are neck and neck, neither one willing to give up any ground. But on the final lap, Tompkins gives his all for the South and just edges out Allen at the checkered flag. After one event, it's the South jumping on the board first in what will be an exciting year in the Outlaw Quad War Series.
Pro Modified Sand Drags.
In front of over 57,000 fans, Dan Cooper had his Lil Beaver all revved up and ready for action at the Georgia Dome. All that hard work on Lil Beaver paid off when he clicked off the fastest run of the evening, a scorching 1.789 second dash. The same can't be said for Joe Villarreal, who rolled Joey Quick down the sand drag pit. Amazingly, the 1932 Chevy Coupe stopped inside the shutdown area. His time was good enough for third place as Villarreal escaped without serious injuries. Fred Wilhite had his $80,000 money pit raring to go. When his sand shredding tires finally came to a stop, the money pit had purchased runner-up honors. As you can see, second place can be as exciting as a win. Hey, how about them sand drags? 0 to 60 in 2 seconds. How about this tidbit? See this tire here? $2,100 a piece. I'd like to have to put tires on this rig. $2, $4, $6, $8,000. Let me see if you know the answer to the Jammer question of the week.
Jammer question of the week.
Question of the week is, what's the only truck with the wing on it?
While you ponder this week's Jammer question, have a look at this week's IMJ calendar.
The Monsters are coming to Louisville, Kentucky, October 31st and November 1st in Freedom Hall. Don't miss the Pulling World Finals in Houston at the Astrodome November 15th. And the 98 Monster Jam World Tour kicks off the weekend of January 2nd to the 4th in San Francisco at the Cow Palace, January 3rd in St. Louis at the Trans World Dome, and January 3rd in Seattle at the Kingdome, January 10th in Atlanta at the Georgia Dome, and January 17th in Tampa at Houlihan Stadium.
Here's your Jammer answer.
Hi, my name's Tom S., driver of Monster Patrol, and I am the answer to this week's Jammer question of the week. Monster Patrol is the only truck that implies a wing. It's used for downforce on the truck, and sometimes in freestyle we like to use it to surf on top of, get the crowd going. Unfortunately, a few weeks ago in Minneapolis, we had a little trouble with the wing. After a victory, we did a little too much celebrating. We spun around and flipped it over. Other than that, it works real well for us.
Every week on Inside Monster Jam, we profile one of the drivers. Everybody wants to know about this guy, probably the #1 monster truck driver in the world, Dennis Anderson and the Gravedigger. You guys like Gravedigger? Yeah! That's it. Let's check him out. The guy goes crazy. Yeah!
A closer look.
Dennis, can you give me the specifics on the truck? What it is, how fast it is, big motor, you know, the dirt.
You're right, man. It's a 1950 Chevy panel truck. We run all fiberglass bodies. I'm a Chevy man. Everything I own has got Chevy motors in it, and 95% of my stuff has got big block, meaning a big 454 or whatever. We run 540 cubic inch motors. They're blown fuel injected on alcohol. They develop anywhere from 1,300 to 1,400 horsepower. And you know, we run the big aluminum heads and the superchargers and injectors.
Keep it coming. Keep it coming.
It's all the good stuff. Yeah. We've got quick change, aluminum, custom built transfer cases. They're gearboxes. There is a lot of technology. It looks like we're playing and having a good time, but you can still work and have a good time too.
Okay, I'm standing outside the Citrus Bowl. You know what? Monster Jam is the only cool thing in the town tonight. Race Rock, it's a restaurant on the other side of town, totally dedicated to motorsports. Bobby Moore, he thought of this whole concept for himself. This place is chock full of goodies. Bob, why don't you tell us all about it?
Thanks, Jerry. Now we're in front of Race Rock in Orlando, Florida. In front of Race Rock, we have the Gravedigger, which we're hoping is going to be a new addition to our next Race Rock that's going to be opening soon in Las Vegas. Also, in the front of the building here,
We have the Smokin' Joe Unlimited Turbine Hydroplane. We have Richard Childers' number 3 Good Wrench truck. And over here we have Richard Petty's STP 43 Pontiac. And Jerry, do we have trucks? In our front lobby, we have 2 Ford Aeromax prototypes that were donated by Ford Heavy Truck. Connected to those are our merchandise trailers. Over our Hostess stand, we also have the Samson monster truck. Now we're in the front foyer that leads into the main dining room and bar area. And in this front foyer, in these glass cases, are all my partners. Starting over here, we have Jeff Bodine, Don the Snake Verdome, Jeff Gordon over here, John Force. We have the King, Richard Petty, Michael Andretti, Rusty Wallace, and Kyle Petty. And these are only a few. Race Rock is a motorsports themed restaurant, and it's not just segregated to one type of motorsports. It's everything from stock cars to dragsters to unlimited hydroplanes to monster trucks to radio controlled cars to soapbox derby cars. And Jerry, after the monster truck race tonight, I want to see you in here eating some crashed potatoes and nitro wings.
Freestyling.
Talk about freestyling.
Freestyle, what I like to do best, I like to keep it on all 4 wheels to start with. But
good theory.
I like to see how high I can get. I like to get good shots for cameras because there's usually a lot of people taking pictures.
So it's mainly air, big air.
Yeah, I try to get big air. I try to put on the best show I can in the arenas we're in for the people that's here.
Catching a little air, Tony Farrell.
Hi, I'm with Jerry, and I'm Sherry, and we're watching Inside Monster Jam, and we'll be right back.
Inside Monster Jam.
All right, now we're going to look at all the cool footage from tonight, all the racing, extracurricular activity, just madness. This place is crazy. 50,000 people and 3. Well, 4. We're like a group now.
More IMJ Racing.
Coming right at you, number 624, Craig Schroeder kept his 1600cc buggy pegged to the limit. But he takes the far corner way too wide and ends up sticking to the mud. That allowed for the Crowder brothers of Jason and Jimmy to easily maneuver themselves into the lead and on to the victory. The real drama was for second place when number 618, Marty Neary, gasses it right before the checkered flag. But does he beat the K99 buggy of James Lair? Even in slow motion, this one is just too close to call, so we'll say it's a tie. In the stadium lights, 2-time champion Rick Krantz switched the number 3 machine into cruise control on the way to the easy victory. In fact, I thought the stadium lights were so cool that I decided to slap on the headgear and gloves and hop on inside while Rick was being interviewed.
I didn't know where the track went. I was having fun. The helmet kept going up. I pulled some donuts. I think I'm in trouble again. Those things are really cool. It's funny. Once you get strapped in, you really feel comfortable and safe. They're kind of jarring, but it pulled donuts. It didn't feel like it wanted to tip over or anything. Would you try that at home? Would you just climb into a foreign object, pin it wide open, and go over a big jump? You would if there was 50,000 people at IMJ, huh? Yeah, you would. You would. For IMJ, you'd do it. I know you would. Don't lie to me. Come on.
Monster Trucks.
There was some horsing around inside Freedom Hall, but when the monster trucks came out on the fast, roundy-round track, it was all business. Tom Mentz and Monster Patrol had some problems with the Chevy versus Tony Farrell and Wild Thing. Patrol loses his rear springs off the 1995 Chevy as his night came to a premature end. In the semifinal round, Wild Thing faced off against Dennis Anderson and the Grave Digger. Digger seemed to have the victory in hand when he hits the jump a little too hard and blows our engine that was borrowed from Monster Patrol. Wild Thing also had a bit of a problem in the semifinal round. In the debut race for the unique skull design, Tony Farrell blows his top on the jump.
We were flying. Me and Dennis Anderson was racing, so of course we was all full bore. I had some hellacious air. I come down, the body ended up falling down on the tire, flipping back over, land on this tire, broken about 4 pieces, and hit the ground.
Peeled off like an orange.
Brand new first weekend on it, so that was the end of the number 1 body.
So what do you do when you've lost the body of your truck and have to face the equalizer in the finals? Well, you race with half a body, of course. Wild Thing gets an IMJ A+ for determination. Dave Morrison, the equalizer, get the good jump off the line as he powers the 1996 Chevy to victory in Louisville.
Listen, we caught up with this girl in Providence, Rhode Island. Do you know what the globe of death is? It's that like cage globe that motorcycles ride around inside. This girl stands in there.
In the middle of it?
What do you think?
She must be crazy.
We're going to talk to her, you know.
Has to be crazy. She has to be crazy.
If she keeps doing that, she's not going to be good looking for her. You know what I mean? Something might happen.
I understand. I wouldn't do it. I don't see how people do stuff like that.
When I'm working in a show where there's a lot of people, there's always something in my stomach that's just, I don't know, I don't think it's nervous, but there's always a fear. I never really thought about riding. He rode and my brother rode, and I was always looked at it. And then he wanted me to stand in the middle, and I was like, just stand in the middle. So I was very sure about it before I stepped in. And when I was actually standing there, I'm thinking, what am I doing? You know, this is crazy. And so I did that for a while.
Yeah.
Your chains come off, and little mishaps when you touch each other, and the routine has to be precise, and everything has to be perfect. And when something goes wrong, well, you know about it. And to just give you a basic idea, the way the metal is, it's kind of like a cheese grater. So when you're sliding down, it tears you up, you know.
In the final showdown at the Orlando Citrus Bowl was Fred Schaefer and Barefoot versus Brian Barthel and Little Tiger. Barefoot utilized his 16 years of experience off the line and had no problems navigating the U-turn course. Little Tiger's 468 Chevy engine just couldn't close the gap on Big Bad Barefoot as Fred Schaefer is our 1/900 pro race winner.
You know the saying, who's the man? Tonight, it'd have to be Barefoot.
Yeah, that age and experience in these turning courses, it's a lot of fun. I really enjoy doing this.
Well, when you take the win, you really get to show up. I saw you backing her into the wall. I go, uh-oh, he's going for the big, big air.
Yeah, the fans really like to see the air, and we tried to get that new Dodge Ram flying up in the air nice and high for the fans, and thank the fans for supporting me down here.
Bobby Moore, man, you weren't kidding. Those nitro wings were full scorches. Can't believe I ate the whole thing. You've heard that before. A lot of really great stuff inside Race Rock. Hope everybody enjoyed the first edition of Inside Monster Jam. Keep tuned. Next couple of weeks, lots of great monster trucks. It's going to be great. See you later.
Coming up next time, we'll travel south to Miami's Orange Bowl and find out what happened to Team Monster Patrol's Paul Schaefer in St. Louis. That and a whole lot more of the coolest racing on Inside Monster Jam.
Coming to you tomorrow at 6:30 p.m. That's tomorrow at 6:30 p.m. right here on